I watched the biggest carp of my life snap my line because I trusted overpriced retail bait. Frustrated, that devastating loss on the local reservoir taught me a valuable lesson about overpriced commercial fishing attractants. Those colorful packages sitting on shelves at Bass Pro Shops are designed to catch anglers, not fish. I threw away hundreds of dollars on premium mixtures that actually ended up spooking wild carp away. Size. You do not need to spend your valuable money on manufactured products that promise miracles underwater. The absolute best attractant for giant carp is sitting in a common grocery store aisle right now. Today, I will expose the truth about how massive tackle companies inflate their prices for no reason. Excited? You will see how a simple grocery item completely outperforms expensive bags of imported European carp bait. If you stay with me until the very end, your entire approach to fishing will change forever. I'm going to teach you how to prepare this cheap ingredient to double your catches tomorrow. You will learn the exact mixing ratios that create an irresistible scent trail in the muddy water. This method works perfectly on pressured public reservoirs where fish have seen every trick in the book. By using this setup, you can stop wasting money and start catching massive fish on every trip. We will break down the simple homemade recipe so you can replicate it easily in your kitchen. The process is incredibly simple, but you must follow the instructions carefully to get the texture right. Let us begin this journey by looking at the unexpected origin of this highly effective fishing secret. My name is Jim Callahan, and I have chased trophy fish on these waters for 40 years. Local anglers call me Big Jim, and I have won 5 Regional Angler of the Year titles. I do not rely on expensive modern sonar units because I trust my instincts and water temperature. Knowing how fish behave in different weather patterns is far more valuable than any fancy marine electronics. If you appreciate honest, classic fishing advice, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. I want to help you catch more fish without draining your wallet on useless gadgets and gear. Now let us reveal the secret ingredient that big bait manufacturers really do not want you using. It is a common household product that you can find at any local Walmart or Kroger store. The secret weapon hiding in your pantry right now is a cheap pack of strawberry gelatin powder. I stumbled upon this incredible trick 20 years ago while making a quick snack in my kitchen. I accidentally spilled some red powder on my hands and headed out to the lake shortly after. The wild carp in my local reservoir went absolutely crazy for the sweet scent on my fingers. I landed 3 massive fish in less than an hour, and I knew I discovered something special. Since that lucky afternoon, this cheap dessert mix has been a permanent staple in my tackle box. You might think that expensive chemical attractants work better, but science actually proves the exact opposite here. Let us examine why this sweet powder triggers such an aggressive feeding response in giant wild carp. Carp possess an incredibly advanced olfactory system that can detect food signals from very long distances away. The gelatin contains processed animal proteins and intense artificial sweeteners that mimic natural aquatic food sources perfectly. When these sweet amino acids dissolve in the water, they trigger an immediate and instinctual feeding frenzy. The fish simply cannot resist the powerful scent cloud that spreads rapidly across the muddy lake bottom. Many anglers believe that carp prefer natural odors, but sweet fruit scents actually drive them completely wild. This cheap grocery store item delivers a stronger sensory punch than any expensive commercial liquid attractant available. However, you cannot just throw the powder into the water and expect to catch giant fish instantly. The secret to success lies in how we prepare the dry base for this sweet pack bait. To build the perfect foundation, you will need 2 cups of ordinary yellow Quaker brand cornmeal today. Next, grab 1 cup of plain white wheat flour to help bind the dry mixture together now. I always buy the cheapest generic store brands because they actually work much better for this recipe. Cheap flours retain a stronger raw grain aroma that expensive processed brands always seem to lose completely. Pour both of these dry ingredients into a large plastic mixing bowl before you do anything else. Use your hands to blend the flour and cornmeal together until the dry mixture looks completely uniform. It is important to remove any large lumps so the final dough ball has a smooth consistency. Once the dry base is ready, we will prepare the liquid element that activates this powerful bait. Before we move forward, I want to ask you a quick question about your own personal fishing. Do you guys prefer using yellow cornmeal or breadcrumbs for your homemade pack baits when targeting carp? Let me know in the comments below because I read every single one of your personal responses. Sharing our experiences helps all of us become better anglers and catch more fish on the water. Now, we must introduce the secret weapon, but you must never add it directly to the flour. Mixing the dry powder directly into the cornmeal will ruin the entire texture of the bait ball. The gelatin will not distribute evenly, creating pockets of sticky mess that will always dissolve too quickly. We must use a specific wet mixing process to ensure the scent releases slowly under the water. To make this bait work correctly, you must dissolve the gelatin powder in boiling hot water first. Measure 1 cup of hot water using a standard glass Pyrex cup from your own kitchen counter. Pour the entire red packet of strawberry powder into the hot water and stir it very thoroughly. Keep stirring until all the sweet sugar crystals are completely dissolved and the liquid looks clear red. The high temperature activates the gelatin proteins, creating a durable bond that always holds the bait together. Years ago, I made the mistake of using cold water during a local reservoir tournament fishing weekend. The cold mixture dissolved in minutes, leaving my hook bare and costing me several massive trophy carp. Using hot water ensures the dough stays packed on your hook, but there is one major twist. The first major twist involves how water temperature affects the scent release of this sweet gelatin bait. In cold water lakes below 50 degrees, gelatin locks up and stops releasing its powerful scent trail. To prevent this from happening, you must double the gelatin ratio during the chilly winter months now. You should also add a teaspoon of vegetable oil to keep the bait active in freezing temperatures. This simple addition keeps the mixture soft, allowing the strawberry aroma to escape and attract the fish. I learned this trick during a freezing tournament where my standard bait turned into solid, useless rock. Once I added the oil, I caught 5 massive carp while the other anglers caught absolutely nothing. Now that our liquids are ready, we must combine them to create the ultimate sensory fishing bait. Slowly pour your warm red liquid into the dry bowl while stirring continuously with a sturdy wooden spoon. Once the mixture clumps together, use your bare hands to knead the dough into a smooth Play-Doh consistency. Now grab a standard container of McCormick garlic powder from your kitchen pantry to add the final kick. Sprinkle exactly 1 teaspoon of this pungent spice over the red dough and thoroughly knead it once more. You might think sweet strawberry and sharp garlic make a terrible combination, but wild carp absolutely adore it. Years ago, I watched carp in clear, shallow flats bypass plain sweet baits but aggressively swallow garlic-scented ones. This sharp contrast creates a powerful sensory overload that triggers immediate competitive feeding responses in cautious river fish. But there is a shocking optical secret about this bright red bait that completely changes how it looks underwater. You might expect the vibrant red color to act as a visual beacon for hungry fish down below. However, water absorbs red light quickly, meaning your bright bait actually undergoes a drastic transformation under the surface. At a depth of 10 feet, the red hue completely disappears and turns into a dark gray shadow. This stealthy gray shade perfectly mimics a natural pond snail or a piece of decaying organic lake debris. The fish will easily track the sweet strawberry scent trail without being spooked by an unnatural bright color. This clever combination of intense aroma and underwater camouflage is why this cheap recipe outperforms expensive commercial mixtures. Now that your stealthy bait is prepared, we must discuss the proper rigging techniques to maximize your hookups. The way you present this dough ball on the bottom determines whether you catch a monster or go home empty-handed. You can mold a small portion of dough directly around a size 6 or 8 wide gap hook. While this simple method works for quick sessions, smart carp can easily feel the metal and spit it out. A much better approach is using a standard hair rig equipped with a small metal coil spring holder. This tournament-proven setup keeps your hook completely bare, which drastically improves your chances of landing a heavy fish. When a giant carp sucks in this bait, it must not feel any metal, or it spits it out instantly. I prefer using premium Gamakatsu or owner wide gap hooks because they stay sharp and hold the fish securely. I once fished next to an angler using massive catfish hooks who did not get a single bite all day. Meanwhile, my tiny size 8 hooks were constantly bending under the weight of 15-pound common reservoir carp. Finding the right spot to cast your newly prepared dough bait is just as critical as the recipe itself. I always look for submerged structures like fallen laydowns, cypress knees, and thick cattail beds near the shoreline. Keep your eyes peeled for tiny bubbles rising to the surface, which indicate active fish feeding in the mud. Have you ever spotted these rising bubble trails on your local reservoir during the warm summer fishing season? Let me know in the comments below if you have tried casting your baits near these active feeding zones. During the early morning hours, carp love to patrol shallow flats in water as shallow as 2 feet deep. As the sun rises higher, they will naturally migrate toward deeper drop-offs to find cooler water and safety. I once caught a massive 30-pounder in just 18 inches of water right next to some shoreline cattails. Many anglers make the mistake of fishing too deep because they assume big fish always stay in deep holes. Pay close attention to the wind and always fish the bank that the breeze is blowing directly into. The waves push natural nutrients and warm water toward the shore, which quickly attracts hungry baitfish and giant carp. I recall a very windy day on a muddy bank where I caught my limit in 2 hours. Other fishermen avoided the rough wind, went home empty-handed, and missed out on some truly incredible action. Before casting your main line, you should pre-bait the area to draw the fish in even faster. Be sure to check your state DNR regulations regarding chumming to ensure you stay within the legal limits. Toss 5 or 6 marble-sized balls of dough into your target zone to establish a strong scent trail. If you throw too much bait, the fish will fill their bellies and swim away without touching your hook. Keep the free offerings minimal so they remain hungry and aggressive when they finally locate your rigged hook. Now let us talk about the gear you need to successfully land these powerful, hard-fighting freshwater giants. You do not need expensive specialized European tackle to catch big carp on your local public lakes. A simple medium-action ugly stick or Shimano rod paired with a reliable spinning reel is absolutely perfect. Spool your reel with 15-pound trilene monofilament line because it offers excellent abrasion resistance against sharp underwater rocks. I highly recommend avoiding braided line because it has zero stretch and can easily tear their soft mouths. Monofilament acts like a shock absorber when a heavy fish makes a sudden, violent run near the bank. I lost many trophy fish before I realized that stiff braided line was actually hurting my hookup ratio. Once you switch to monofilament, you will see how much easier it is to control these wild runs. When a carp takes the bait, wait until the rod bends completely over before you set the hook. Simply lift the rod firmly and let the sharp, wide gap hook do the work for you naturally. If the fish runs into thick weeds, do not pull hard against the heavy vegetation and risk breaking. Keep light tension on the line and patiently wait for the carp to swim out on its own. Once the tired fish is in open water, slowly guide it directly over your submerged landing net. Never scoop at the fish quickly or you will spook it into making a final desperate run. This simple strawberry gelatin recipe has saved my fishing trips more times than I can possibly count. It is incredibly cheap to make and consistently outperforms any $50 commercial bait on the market today. Imagine a simple $1 pack of gelatin sitting in your box, outproducing all those expensive high-tech lures. I want you to try this homemade recipe on your very next trip to see the results yourself. In the next video, I will show you how to locate giant carp during heavy summer rainstorms. You will be absolutely shocked at how easy it is to catch them when the water levels rise. Heavy rain washes fresh food into the lake, creating the perfect opportunity for an unforgettable day of fishing. I will share the exact locations where these giants gather to feed during the stormiest summer afternoons. If you want more honest, no-nonsense fishing tips from an old-timer, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Your support helps me share these classic, budget-friendly secrets with passionate anglers all across the country. Feel free to leave a comment about your own homemade bait successes or any questions you might have. I read every single message and love hearing about your personal adventures out on the local waters. Remember that you do not need to spend a fortune to catch the biggest fish of your life. Keep your setup simple, trust your instincts, and always pay close attention to the natural elements around you. Until next time, keep your lines wet and enjoy every single moment you get to spend outdoors. Good luck on the water, my friends, and I hope to see you out there very soon.